After coming here, we both said, finally, a place where we can relax for a bit and recharge the batteries. Welcome to Nha Trang, Vietnam, the vibrant seaside city that's as beautiful as it's fun. We are in love with Nha Trang, and in this video we will show you our $22 hotel in the heart of the city, gorgeous beaches, and some of the attractions. We'll share some of our sometimes questionable food choices, both budget-friendly and the ones we splurged on, and, of course, practical tips on transportation, ATMs, and SIM cards. We are Olga and Renee. After living in Turkey for a year, we are now exploring countries in Southeast Asia to see if we can make from Ho Chi Minh is really short, about an hour. And when we landed, the airport name is actually not the Nha Trang, but it's called Cam Ranh International Airport. It is approximately 30 kilometers south of Nha Trang. I have more information about how you can get from airport to city and where to stay in the article, and you will find a link to it in the description. What we love about Vietnam is that, believe it or not, but here you can get a hotel like this with the rooftop pool and breakfast for only $22 a night. Our room was spotless clean and everything looked new, and if you get a room on a higher floor, there's even a sea view. I would also recommend it for newlyweds because, as you see, the bathroom, it has see-through glass doors. We usually take breakfasts at the hotels, we find it the most convenient, and here, as I said, for $22 for 2 persons we got the breakfast included. You can see it was quite good. They have rice, they had pasta, even chips and sweet potato, of course selection of fruits, omelette, and even pancakes. The best feature of Nha Trang for us is the beach promenade. You can either have a relaxing walk or have a drink at one of the cafes. But the main difference with bigger seaside cities in Thailand for me is that here it's much less hustle and bustle. Less street vendors or shops, the promenade is more quiet to walk around. And for us, this is what we are looking for mostly. Nha Trang is also famous for its beaches, but be prepared that if you come to Nha Trang during low season, most of the time the waves will be strong and going into the sea won't be safe. You will see a red flag on the beach and the guard will be checking up on those adventurous guys and girls who are trying to get into the water. You can still chill and swim in the rooftop pool at one of the many hotels in Nha Trang, offering stunning views. But if you really want to swim, I would suggest that you come during the high season, which is from June to August, but also be prepared that it will be much busier with tourists at that time. And for reference, we are here in February, so you can see how Nha Trang looks like in the last month of the winter. Vietnam is famous for its coffee, and in every city you will find many coffee shops. From very small with just a couple of small chairs and locals chatting or relaxing after their work shift. But also you can find many very stylish coffee shops offering many choices of drinks and a very stylish interior. But almost everywhere you can be sure to get a good, strong cup of coffee. In some coffee shops you might be able to get a snack, which is banh mi sandwich. And no trip to Vietnam is complete without having banh mi sandwich as a snack. Get ready to become addicted, and we certainly are. Although, I must say, if it's made on the street, the preparation of it can be done with lower hygiene standards that you might be used to. And for us, we consider the experience as strengthening our immune systems. Banh mi is usually made with lots of different kinds of meat. And if you speak Vietnamese, you can of course ask for it or just point to the meat that you want, or otherwise you can just order a mix and they will put a little bit of everything. One of the other places we went to quite often to get some food is a food court at Lotte Mart in the city center. There you can get some traditional Vietnamese food made of noodles and chicken, some vegetables. Also, we saw there is Korean food and Japanese food, a selection of sushi. They are, of course, not to the same standard as you would get at a fancy Japanese restaurant, but we think they were quite good still, and for affordable price. And when we wanted to splurge and visit a fancy Vietnamese food restaurant, we went here. We saw that there are many people inside, and that's usually a good sign. We really liked the interior of the restaurant. It looked very nice and cozy. The prices there were, I would say, double, triple, sometimes quadruple from what you see on the street. So we assumed that the food must be really good, and we ordered one of the less expensive options like spring rolls. And unfortunately we got them deep fried, although we were hoping they will be not fried. And the menu that had some English in it didn't say that they will be deep fried, but they were still quite nice. And then we ordered chicken and rice, as unfortunately the chicken dish didn't have any rice coming with it, and it was already quite pricey, so that surprised us. And unfortunately the meat was not tasty at all. It was chewy, and for the price that is almost quadruple from the street food price, we didn't really expect it. So I must say, unfortunately, we find this restaurant to be more of a tourist trap. And when we stepped outside, we saw big buses, big touristy buses. And basically inside the restaurant, customers were large groups of what we think is South Korean tourists. So our assumption is that the restaurant is working with the tour agency and the tourists are just brought to that restaurant. For example, to compare, in some small local place, a soup you can get for 50,000 Vietnamese dong. And if you go to a really local area, the same soup you can even get for 25,000 Vietnamese dong. So when you compare prices to that, you do really see how expensive the prices are in that restaurant. Popular place to visit in the city center is the street market, which is mostly visited only by tourists, but there you can buy some basics for your holiday. And a food street right next to it, where you can go to have a chat with other travelers at a cafe or a bar. On a sunny day, we tried to get into water to have a swim, but the waves unfortunately were too strong. And actually, when the days were a bit cloudy, it was good to work out at the beach. Or we even went to a local gym where for one day pass we paid 50,000 Vietnamese dong, each of us. So what about attractions to see in Nha Trang? There are not that many attractions, but there are still some that we would recommend seeing. The first one is Long Son Pagoda. It is a Buddhist temple and it's located on a hill and offers panoramic views of the city. And the temple also houses a giant white Buddha statue that stands at 24 meters tall. This is Ponagar Cham Towers, and they date back to the 7th century, and they are a testament to a rich cultural history of Nha Trang. These towers are also on a hill, and the same as the pagoda, they offer stunning views of the city and the river. It's definitely one of the must-see in Nha Trang. We also recommend visiting Nha Trang Mountain Church. Be prepared that closer to 5 p.m. you cannot go inside anymore, so make sure you are there earlier.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out.
And last but not the least, we had really good sushi in Nha Trang. We decided to splurge on another restaurant again. This one was recommended to me by a friend, and on the pictures actually it didn't look like much at all. So we didn't even think of making a reservation or anything, but because of that we could only get a seat right next to the chefs. All other tables were reserved. But after all, sitting there was really cool because we got to see the chefs work, and our sushi were really fresh and really tasty. So if you want a treat, I would definitely recommend this place in Nha Trang. In the evening, there is also a show at the central square. Be prepared though, because in Vietnam there are unfortunately many pickpockets, and for them this is the perfect opportunity to steal something from you, so watch out for your belongings when you're visiting something crowded like this. After we checked out of the hotel, we did move into an apartment where we are staying for 25 days. So in the next video, I will take you with us on apartment hunting. We will show you multiple apartments and give you some useful tips if you plan to do the same.